Okay, so once you're all done getting your image all set and you have everything looking the way you want it to, as you can see this masterpiece that we've made here, right? You go ahead and you can use a lot of these different tools. There's always ways to adjust and change the brushes. I'd advise you to kind of look at some tutorials online if you don't know a whole lot about how to mess with that stuff. But the two I would use the most would be the paintbrush tool and the blob tool, and the text tool maybe to play with these things. But make something interesting happen where the photographic information and this other information you're adding over the top does something kind of interesting. Okay, once you're done with that, we just need to go ahead and get these things ready to print now. So it's really simple. If I just send this to a printer, if I just send like this, let's just say I send this red layer to the printer right now, it's going to print this out, but the printer's going to think that the red is actually a kind of a grayish color. So it's not going to make it black the way we want it to, so that we can have our so that we can get our screen prints to work correctly. So we have to take all of this stuff and turn it into something that's black and white, basically. So we have to reconvert all this stuff from color back into black and white. And so remember to save this as much as you can. You always want to make sure you save things. So you want to make sure you save the color version. And then let's just go ahead and save this. Save the new version of this, and we'll just call it, three-color experiment, but we'll add a little thing here, which is the black-white, right? So that helps me know, okay, it's a black and white version of it. So that way, if we want to go back and alter this later, we can do that. Okay, so once I've done that, I'm just going to go ahead and click on each of my layers, and I just want to turn on the eyeball for each one, and I want to select brown. So I'm going to select the brown one. And if I hit Command A, it's not going to give me anything because, as you guys recall, there's nothing else on this brown layer, and I locked it. So what I want to do is just unlock that layer, hit Command A. And now everything in this layer, everything in here has been selected, and I can just go up here to my color swatches, and instead of this one being brown, I'm just going to turn it into black. So it should turn that back to black for me now. Okay. And then I can just go ahead and twirl that back up, lock it, turn off the eyeball, turn on my red one, and then I want to hit Command A on that again, select everything, and I want to turn this to black. So I'll add that one to black. But you can kind of see how it just added this level of mess to what we were doing, which isn't at all what we want. And this is kind of where you need to be a little careful. So I want to go ahead and click that back to no fill. I just wanted it to change the strokes. So I want to make sure I click the stroke icon right here and only change that to black. So now if I look at my layers palette again and I twirl this down, all of these things have been turned to black. And if I keep scrolling down and down and down and down, I have my one little, the bitmap layer that's red still that I locked. So I need to click that, select it, and then I'm going to change that into, I need to actually grab with the white arrow tool. And I'm going to fill that, so I need to change the fill on that to black. It gets a little complicated. I'm pretty sure you can handle it. So once we get all that done, and everything has been changed, okay. So now the only layer I have left is the blue one. And I'm going to go through the same process here. I'll hit Command A, change all of these to black. And the fills too, it looks like. And you can see this is going to get messy because I have type in there. So I'm going to need to undo that. And I want to go ahead and just select the text and change that text to black. And I can also undo the stroke if I want to and all that. Okay, so I have everything kind of all set here except for the background image that I still need to turn into from a blue bitmap into a black one. So since I locked it, I know where it is. It's all the way down here. I'll just select it, grab the white arrow tool, select that, grab this, turn it to black. Okay, so make sure you do the fill and not the stroke. Okay, so if I go back over here to my layers now, I can twirl things back up and lock them. If I turn these guys all back on again, they're all black and none of them. This will look terrible if I printed it all in black. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off, and then all I have to do is I just have to send this file to the printer, and it'll print it 11 by 17, and it'll print out what I need it to print out so that it looks correct, and then I can burn that onto a screen. So just go up here to File and Print, and it'll bring up the dialog box that that works for your particular printer. And obviously in this case we'd want our printer to print at 11 by 17, so you'll want to select the right printer and get it all set up so that it'll print right. But it should be very simple. You just print one layer, click there, send it to the printer, turn off the first eyeball, turn this one back on, print that one, and then do the same thing with this layer. Send all three through the printer, save this in case you goofed something up, and then you should be able to burn these. Though it should kick out stuff on your transparencies that you can then burn on your screens and print, just like you would anything else, using these little registration marks that we have up here for our to help guide our how to register the thing on the press. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully it helps a little bit. Pause it a lot, slow it down. There's also written instructions on the blog that kind of augment what we're talking about here as well. So thanks.